superhero landing. She gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it. Woo! Superhero landing.
With the mutant saga gaining momentum, Colossus has already stepped into the MCU with his appearance in the latest movie. Rumor has it he might even get a solo film to explore his character in ways we haven't seen yet. Colossus first popped up in X-Men with a cameo, played by Donald McKinnon. Later, Daniel Cudmore took over the role, appearing in X2, X-Men The Last Stand, and X-Men Days of Future Past. In the last one, he helped the X-Men fight Sentinels in a bleak future until his character's death. After the timeline reset, Colossus became a teacher at Xavier's Institute. Fun fact, promotional material for that film revealed he was one of the mutant babies linked to the Chernobyl disaster. Colossus was reimagined in the Deadpool series, brought to life using CGI, and voiced by Stefan Kapicic, who also handled the character's facial capture. Andrei Tricotu and others handled the motion capture work. Despite being offered the role again, Cudmore declined. Colossus featured prominently in Deadpool and Deadpool 2, and then he finally returns in Deadpool and Wolverine. But none of these portrayals of Colossus have really done justice to some of the most important and emotional stories from Marvel's history, but that might change with the mutant saga. There's a chance we could finally see those iconic moments brought to the big screen. Over the years, Colossus has endured unimaginable losses and been forced into heartbreaking decisions as a member of the X-Men. Few mutants have faced as much personal pain as Pyotr Rasputin, especially when it comes to his sister Illyana. One of the most defining stories is Illyana's tragic death from the legacy virus. From the beginning, Pyotr's entire life was dedicated to protecting her. His first failure came when she was kidnapped by the demon Belasco and trapped in limbo. While only moments passed in the real world, Illyana lived through 7 traumatic years. She eventually returned, now 13 years old, and became Magik, joining the New Mutants. Even as she reverted to her real age, her struggles weren't over. Illyana became one of the first mutants to contract the legacy virus, a deadly disease unleashed by strife that targeted mutants. As the X-Men searched for a cure, Pyotr could only watch helplessly as her condition worsened. He tried to give her hope, promising she'd recover, but it was a promise he couldn't keep. Tragically, Illyana died while Colossus was away on a mission, leaving him heartbroken and filled with guilt. Another pivotal moment in Colossus' story is when he becomes disillusioned with Xavier's dream and sides with Magneto. Over time, he begins to see the dream of peace between humans and mutants as a hopeless fantasy, one that has brought him nothing but heartbreak. The death of his sister is a turning point. Consumed by grief, Colossus burns his paintings and lashes out at Professor Xavier during Illyana's funeral, blaming him for her death and the endless suffering he's endured since leaving his home to join the X-Men. During the ceremony, Magneto arrives and invites the X-Men to join him on Asteroid M. Tired of Xavier's idealism, Colossus decides to go with Magneto. In X-Men number 25 by Fabian Nicienza and Andy Kubert, the X-Men launch an attack on Asteroid M. During the confrontation, Magneto uses his powers to tear the adamantium from Wolverine's skeleton, prompting Xavier to shut down Magneto's mind, leaving him catatonic. Among all of Magneto's followers, Colossus is the only one who stays behind on Asteroid M to care for his incapacitated leader. Although his time with Magneto is brief, it's a significant chapter in Colossus's life. He eventually joins Excalibur and later returns to the X-Men, but his outlook has changed. This period highlights how much pain and disillusionment he has experienced, leading him to temporarily align with the X-Men's greatest enemy. Moving on, one of the most heroic and heartbreaking moments in Colossus' story is his ultimate sacrifice to cure the legacy virus. This takes place in Uncanny X-Men number 390 by Scott Lobdell and Salvador Larroca, and it's a defining act of selflessness for the character. By this point, Colossus has endured incredible loss: his home, family, and even hope. Years after the virus claimed his sister Illyana, Beast finally creates a cure. The problem? The cure must be injected into a mutant to activate, and the process is fatal to the first person who takes it. Beast, unwilling to lose anyone else, locks away the cure to continue researching a safer alternative. But for Colossus, there's no question about what needs to be done. Haunted by his sister's death and determined to prevent others from suffering the same fate, he steals the cure and injects it into himself. Colossus dies in Beast's lab, but his sacrifice ensures the legacy virus is eradicated, saving countless lives. It's a powerful conclusion to his story at the time, showing the depth of his compassion and his willingness to lay down his life for others. If adapted for the screen, this moment could be one of the most emotionally impactful scenes in the Mutant Saga. Another unforgettable moment in Colossus' story is his shocking resurrection in Astonishing X-Men number 4 by Joss Whedon and John Cassaday. In a world where comic book deaths rarely stick, his 3-year absence felt like a lifetime. During his time away, Colossus missed a pivotal era in X-Men comics, including Grant Morrison's New X-Men run, which introduced big changes. The Xavier Institute became public, Professor X stepped down, Jean Grey died, again, and Cyclops and Emma Frost took over the school. Meanwhile, the team swapped their spandex for leather uniforms inspired by the X-Men films. When Whedon's Astonishing X-Men kicked off, the team returned to their classic look and faced the emergence of a mutant cure. They discover the company behind the cure has been testing it on the body of a deceased mutant. As the team infiltrates the lab, readers are led to believe the body might belong to Jean Grey. But when Kitty Pryde ventures into the basement, the twist is revealed. It's Colossus. The emotional reunion is unforgettable. After taking out some guards, Colossus recognizes Kitty and transforms back into his human form. Collapsing to his knees, he clutches her and asks, "Am I finally dead?" It's a gut-wrenching moment that underscores his pain and confusion after being experimented on and used as a test subject. Lastly, we have the Fall of X storyline, X-Force number 43-46 by Benjamin Percy and Robert Gill, where Colossus's loyalty takes a shocking twist. The event kicks off with Orchis, an anti-mutant organization, launching a brutal assault on Krakoa during the Hellfire Gala. The newly elected X-Men team and countless mutants are killed, and X-Force, who should be providing security, is lured off the island thanks to Colossus's betrayal. Unbeknownst to even himself, Colossus is being manipulated by his brother Mikhail. Domino uncovers Kayla's body and pieces together the betrayal, but it's too late. She and the rest of X-Force are captured. Meanwhile, Mikhail uses the Chronicler to extend his mind control tactics to an Orchis agent. However, pushing the Chronicler's power weakens its hold on Colossus, allowing Pyotr to break free. Overcome with guilt, he frees X-Force and confronts Mikhail in a deadly battle, ultimately killing his brother. Shattered by his actions, Colossus surrenders to X-Force, ready to face judgment. However, with mutants fighting for survival, the team decides they can't afford to sideline someone as powerful as him. They give Pyotr a chance to redeem himself, enlisting him in the fight against Orchis. As Fall of X wraps up, the mutants prepare for a new era called From the Ashes. This phase will introduce fresh X-Men teams, a revamped X-Force, and NYX, a New York-based series. While Marvel hasn't revealed Colossus's next steps, one thing's clear: he'll continue to be a crucial player in the X-Men's mission to protect a world that still fears and hates them. This storyline perfectly captures Colossus's constant struggle between duty, guilt, and redemption, making it another standout chapter in his legacy. Well, that's it. Tell me, what's your favorite Colossus moment from the comics or movies? Do you think his story deserves a solo film in the MCU? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more updates on mutants, Marvel, and beyond. We'll see you next time.